A person in a stolen vehicle led La Crosse police on a chase through part of the city this afternoon before crashing the car into a house.
The suspect has been arrested. It started when a La Crosse police officer spotted the stolen car in the parking lot of Menards along Lang Drive.
The car drove off when the officer tried to approach it. It was later spotted, though, on Copeland Avenue. The driver then led officers on a high-speed chase.
Officers stopped the chase when speeds got too dangerous to continue. A short time after that, the driver of the stolen car crashed into a home along Gould Street before taking off on foot.
A La Crosse County canine was called in to help track down the suspect. The person was later found and arrested right along Copeland Avenue. No one was injured and the incident is under investigation.
The La Crosse Police Department says they are seeing an increase in calls and incidents involving guns.
Now it comes after a string of gun-related calls Saturday night. News 8's Sarah Tamer is here with more on what officers say is an alarming number. Sarah?
Over the weekend, La Crosse police responded to 3 separate calls involving guns, and although they found all 3 incidents were linked together, Captain Jason Melby with the La Crosse Police Department says, generally speaking, incidents involving guns have been steadily increasing since 2010.
We've noticed more gun calls coming out.
Captain Melby with the La Crosse Police Department says he's noticing an alarming trend.
And this weekend was no exception.
Gun calls. And lots of them. According to police, there is an upward trend in gun calls in La Crosse. The most recent one in the city happened Saturday night at Subway on Mormon Cooley Road. It started with an attempted robbery outside of Vic's Bar in La Crosse and later resulted in the suspect, 17-year-old Mackie Drake, accidentally getting shot without life-threatening injuries. Melby says it's all part of a pattern that has the department on high alert.
So we took a few minutes and took a look at the numbers, and yeah, we've got a pretty dramatic increase.
In 2010, there were about 6 gun-related calls. In 2016, that number was up to 24. The steady increase of gun calls is concerning for police. However, Melby says it's important to note there's a distinct difference between the severity of the crime and the quantity.
Now, obviously, when we start dealing with more gun calls, we at the police department become alarmed. But the sheer number of crimes reported in the city of La Crosse is down somewhere in the area of 7% for the year.
Melby says the type of gun calls typically vary for each incident, but some calls are part of a recurring pattern.
You end up seeing these weapons being used for home entries, armed robberies like we did this weekend. Frequently, the drug dealers will arm themselves so they don't get ripped off by other drug dealers.
He stresses although the trend is concerning, area residents should keep in mind that overall crime in the city is decreasing.
These are all things that affect the safety of the officers on the street and the safety of the public in general. So when we have events like this, we think it's important that the public's aware of it.
The police department has added a gun and bomb dog, which is a dog that is trained to detect gunpowder and weapons. Captain Melby says the heroin epidemic in our area and in the state contributes to a lot of crime and specifically property crimes in the area.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. And the suspect who is part of this weekend's incident is currently held at the La Crosse County Jail for armed robbery and theft.